There's a reason I call it the forbidden ending. Up until then, the episode had been warped, disturbing, wrong, but still vaguely recognizable. It followed some twisted echo of the Dora formula, the forest, the questions, the interruptions from Swiper. But what came next? It was Dora anymore. Not really. She stood at the edge of a place I didn't recognize. The background wasn't bright or simple. It wasn't cartoonish. The jungle was gone. In its place was a forest that looked too real, photorealistic trees with bark that peeled in jagged strips, leaves that shifted in a wind I couldn't hear. The color palette had drained entirely, leaving only a muted grayscale that pulsed faintly, as if the tape couldn't decide whether this was animation or actual footage. Boots was gone, Swiper was gone. The backpack hung limp at her side, mouth unzipped and empty, a hollow sack instead of a cheerful companion. Dora didn't sing, she didn't bounce. She just stared at the forest, then back at me. "Do you want to go in?" she asked. The silence that followed stretched so long it felt unbearable. My throat tightened, and even though I knew better, even though every instinct in my body screamed not to answer, I whispered, "No." Her smile didn't falter. If anything, it grew. "Good," she said softly, "because you don't have a choice." And then she stepped into the forest. The screen followed her as if the camera had been ripped from its usual 2D confines. The trees stretched tall, skeletal shadows. The ground wasn't smooth cartoon grass but damp earth, textured and glistening. For a moment I forgot I was watching a children's show at all. It looked like live-action footage, but Dora remained animated, her bright shape clashing violently against the background. Each step she took made the forest darker. The audio shifted too. The usual cheery instrumental had long since vanished, replaced by something low and pulsing, almost like a heartbeat. Every so often, I thought I heard whispers buried beneath the sound, fragments of words just out of reach. She stopped walking. Slowly, she turned toward me, and then, in a voice that no cartoon character should ever have, she said my name. I froze. Not viewer, not amigo, not the generic catchphrases she was programmed to say. My actual name, the sound of it twisted in her mouth, spoken flatly, deliberately, like she had always known it. I nearly dropped the remote. My skin went cold, the kind of chill that doesn't come from temperature, but from something crawling deep inside you. "You shouldn't be here," Dora whispered, "but you always are, aren't you?" Her eyes locked with mine, no blinking, no movement, just that wide, stretched smile and those two dark pupils that seemed to swallow everything else. I wanted to scream. I wanted to rip the tape out and smash it into pieces, but I couldn't. I sat there, heart slamming against my ribs, completely paralyzed. Then the forest around her began to change. The trees shifted. Their shapes bent in ways that trees shouldn't bend, their trunks warping like flesh instead of wood. The ground pulsed faintly, almost breathing, and through the distorted shapes I thought I saw faces, eyes half-formed, mouths stretching silently. Dora ignored them, she just kept staring at me. There was a moment, I don't know if it was 5 seconds or 5 minutes, where her mouth moved but no sound came out. Silent words, like lips forming prayers or curses. My brain screamed at me not to try to read them, not to give them meaning. And then, mercifully, the tape glitched. The screen split for a second, Dora's face doubling, stretching, tearing across the static. The audio screeched, a warping noise like metal grinding against itself. When it cleared, she was closer. Too close. Her face filled the screen, pupils shaking as though the tape itself couldn't contain her. I can't describe the last 30 seconds. Not because I've forgotten, because I remember too well, and I don't think it's safe. If I put it into words, if I describe what she did, it'll crawl through these sentences and reach you, the same way it reached me. Some things aren't meant to be shared. Some things spread like a virus. So no, I won't tell you, I can't. All I'll say is this: when the episode ended, there was no song, no celebration, no "we did it." Dora just stared and the tape cut to static. But it wasn't silence. Underneath the static, faint but undeniable, was breathing. Slow, heavy, like someone crouched just behind me, waiting for me to turn around. I didn't turn. I couldn't. And that's when I knew this wasn't just a show, this wasn't just a tape. It was a message. And it wasn't finished yet. I didn't sleep the night I watched it. How could I? Every time I closed my eyes, I swore I could hear that faint static still humming somewhere in the room, like the tape had left a residue on the air. I told myself I'd get rid of it in the morning. Smash it, burn it, bury it, anything. But when I woke up, the tape was gone. Not misplaced, not tucked under the couch cushions or slid behind the VCR. Gone. At first I thought maybe I'd been so shaken that I threw it out in a daze, but the trash can was empty. No case, no tape, no sticky note, nothing, like it had vanished in the night. That's when the knocking started. The first night it was faint, 3 knocks against the door spaced evenly apart. Around 3 a.m. I thought maybe I'd dreamed it. But the second night it happened again. Louder, same rhythm, same hour. I didn't open the door. I couldn't. Something in my gut told me that if I did, whatever was waiting on the other side wasn't meant to be seen by human eyes. By the third night, the knocking came from the window. And here's the part that really broke me. It wasn't random. It matched Dora's rhythm, the same sing-song cadence she used when she clapped along to songs, except now it was hollow, deliberate, echoing through the glass in the middle of the night. I stopped sleeping altogether. Daytime wasn't much better. My friends noticed first. They'd say things like, "Hey, why were you standing in the hallway last night?" Or, "Weird, I thought I saw you outside my window." I'd laugh it off, but I knew the truth. They weren't seeing me. They were seeing her. Dora. Not the Dora from our childhood, not the cheerful cartoon explorer. The wrong Dora, the one who said my name, the one who looked at me through the tape like she'd been waiting. And here's the part I hate most. Sometimes I hear her voice when the TV isn't even on. Soft, sing-song words, too faint to catch but unmistakably hers. She hums the backpack song, but slower, distorted, like a record dragging under a needle. I've even caught myself humming along before I realize it. If you're still listening, I need to warn you, don't look for the tape. Don't search thrift stores. Don't scroll auction sites at 3 a.m. Don't think you can handle it better than I did. You can't. And if you think I'm lying, if you're about to dismiss this as just another creepypasta, fine. Go check the broadcast logs for August 14th, 2003. You'll see it, a single listing. Dora the Explorer episode code that doesn't match any others. It aired once, late at night, then never again. That's proof enough, isn't it? But proof won't save you. Because here's the truth, I wasn't the only one who saw it. I used to tell myself maybe it was a hallucination, some trick of stress and insomnia, but then I found others. People online, buried deep in forums that don't exist anymore, threads that vanish hours after they're posted. They talk about her too, about the forest, about the way she looks right at you. One guy swore Dora followed him into his dreams for months, until he drove his car into a tree. Another said he could never look at a children's cartoon again without seeing her reflection in the screen. Me, I've lasted longer, but every day feels like I'm carrying the weight of something I should never have touched. The worst part, sometimes when I walk past mirrors or dark windows, I catch her just behind me, not moving, not blinking, just smiling. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. And now you've heard it, which means maybe you're carrying it too. If you start hearing the knocks, don't answer. If you hear your name spoken from the dark, don't respond. If you feel eyes on you from the corner of the screen, look away. Because once Dora finds you, she doesn't let go. And trust me, she's already looking. I used to think what I saw was a one-off, a single cursed tape, some freak accident of animation and corrupted files. That's what I told myself when the nightmares started. It was just Dora, just one tape, just one mistake. But the deeper I dug, the more I realized how wrong I was. Because this isn't just Dora. There are other shows, other tapes, and if you're unlucky enough to stumble across them, you'll notice the same patterns. I found the first clue buried in an abandoned forum thread. It was a post from 2006, written by someone who swore they'd seen a SpongeBob episode that didn't exist. They called it Squidward's final performance. You've probably heard the rumors, it floats around the internet now, stripped down to memes and campfire horror. But the way this guy described it, it was too detailed, too specific. He mentioned timestamps, production codes, the exact names of animators who supposedly went missing after it aired. Then there was the Forbidden Blues Clues episode. A user on a tape trading board claimed they got it from a cousin who worked at Nickelodeon Studios. It started normal enough, Steve asking the kids where the paw print was, but the clues never appeared. The house stayed silent, the colors bled, and Steve eventually stopped asking questions. The user said the tape ended with Steve sitting alone on the thinking chair, muttering things under his breath like, "Why did you bring them here?" And Dora wasn't the first or the last. That's when it clicked for me. These weren't accidents. They weren't random corruptions or bored animators sneaking in Easter eggs. They were part of something bigger, something controlled. I started looking into Viacom's archives. Not easy, by the way. You can't just Google this stuff and expect it to pop up. But there are ways, old FTP leaks, former employees who left breadcrumbs in anonymous pasta bins, and what I found made my skin crawl. Because every single show had gaps, blacklisted production codes, unaired pilots, episodes marked as do not broadcast. Dora wasn't alone. And the deeper I went, the clearer the pattern became. Every one of those forbidden episodes was tied to children's programming. Think about that for a second. Out of all the genres they could manipulate, they chose the ones meant for kids. The bright, innocent cartoons designed to keep us safe, to teach us colors, numbers, and songs. Why? Because kids are open, their defenses aren't built yet, they're easy to reach. And maybe that's the point. I've started to think these characters, Dora, Steve, SpongeBob, they aren't just cartoons, not in those tapes, they're vessels, mouthpieces for something else, something that leaks through when the right conditions are met. The cheerful faces we trust most are the ones that can be twisted into the sharpest knives. I don't think Viacom created them, I think they found them. That would explain the cover-ups. The lost episodes are lost. They're locked away, buried under corporate vaults, scrubbed from existence before parents or watchdog groups could notice. And the few that slip through, the ones on thrift store shelves, the mislabeled eBay auctions, they're not mistakes, they're bait. Sometimes I wonder if I was meant to find Dora's tape, if someone put it there for me, knowing exactly what it would do. And before you roll your eyes and dismiss this as paranoia, ask yourself, why are these stories everywhere? Why do thousands of people, across decades from different countries, all whisper about that episode I wasn't supposed to see? You think it's a coincidence? It's not. I don't know the rules yet. I don't know why some tapes take hold and others fade away. But I know this, once you've seen one, you're marked. The characters remember you. They find you again, through screens, through dreams, through reflections. And if Viacom, or whoever's really behind this, knew about it, then their silence isn't just negligence. It's complicity. Maybe the tapes aren't errors, maybe they're tests. And here's the part I shouldn't tell you. There's a folder, not online, offline, passed around on encrypted drives, traded at horror conventions if you know the right handshake. They call it the Playhouse. Inside are dozens of files, every forbidden episode, every cursed broadcast. People treat it like currency. But I swear to you, those who dig too deep don't last long. Their accounts vanish. Their homes sit empty. And sometimes, if you're reckless enough to open the wrong file, you'll see Dora's smile waiting for you in the thumbnail. I've already said too much. If you take anything from this, let it be this: stay away. Don't hunt these tapes. Don't chase the forbidden episodes. They're not urban legends. They're not jokes. They're doors, and once they open, you don't get to choose what comes through. So now you know, maybe more than you wanted to. And I'll ask you this: will you ever look at Dora the Explorer the same way again? Will you hum the backpack song without thinking of the silence between the notes, or the way her smile lingers too long? I doubt it. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the tapes were never about watching. Maybe they were about remembering, lodging themselves deep enough in your head that you can't scrub them out no matter how hard you try. Here's the thing I keep coming back to: you're watching me right now, listening to me confess. Following me down a trail that started with a cartoon and ended in a place I don't think either of us was supposed to see. And if I'm right, and God, I hope I'm not, then that means you're marked too. Don't believe me? Fine, laugh it off. Pretend this is just another creepypasta. But later tonight, when you're brushing your teeth or scrolling your phone in the dark, tell me you don't hear it. That faint hum, that little giggle, that soft voice asking, where are your parents? I used to think Swiper was the scariest part of the show. Silly, right? His whole job was to steal things, and even then he usually failed. But now I know better. Swiper was harmless. Swiper was safe. And maybe that's why I'll leave you with this. Swiper, no swiping. But you're not Swiper, are you? You're the viewer, you're the one she talks to. And if she can say my name, what's stopping her from saying yours? So here's your choice. Do you close this, shut it out, pretend none of it was real? Or do you lean in, chase the forbidden episodes, dig through broadcast logs until you find proof? Either way, she wins. Because the moment you heard her voice in your head, she knew you. And once Dora knows you, she doesn't let go. I shouldn't keep recording. Every second I talk about this, the air feels heavier, like static building just off screen. But maybe that's why I have to. Maybe if enough people hear it, it spreads thin. Maybe she can't latch onto just one of us. Or maybe I'm just dragging you down with me. Do you hear that? I swear, listen closely, behind me, in the static. A girl's voice, soft, patient, familiar. Can you say goodbye?